Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow, 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 ow.
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the DrRevJelyRolle. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Reverend, the DrRevJelyRolle.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Yes, indeed. I'm talking to you out there, brothers and sisters. This includes our new members who may be enjoying us for the first time, wherever you may be, and wherever you want to be, because you may not be where you want to be. Just the same, there you are. It is Sunday, July 20th. And in my office, it's 70 degrees and no humidity. Clear, beautiful day. But on the other side of this wall, it just finished pouring down, raining at 100% humidity. And it's like 80-something degrees. And it's supposed to hit 91 degrees and 70% humidity. I'm talking about uncomfortable. It's as uncomfortable as Epstein's caterer. You know what he's thinking. He's thinking, yes, I'm on the list. I was catering the food. That's why I'm on the list. All I did was prepare the food. Okay, yes, I was serving young gulls, but that was what they asked for. They wanted young gulls. Okay, I did my time. I've already done time. I can't afford to have another strike against me. And he's going, Lord have mercy. I did my time. Yes, I did serve you. Transport young gulls across state lines for immortal purposes, but that was then. I did my time, and just please don't kill me. And you know that's what the caterer is thinking, and that's how uncomfortable it is. It's almost like being Epstein's caterer. So welcome to the Church of Last Resort. I am the DrRevJelyRolle, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCM, LIX. People have called me the racy reverend, the pervert pastor, the vile vulgar vicar of vice, the sexy shepherd, the missionary man, the minister of mischief, the wicked witness, the dirty deacon of doggy style, the frisky fry, the ass man abbot, the booty banging brother, the handsy high priest, Father Fistmas, the wicked I like to watch witness, the holy hoe, the divine dominating dominee, the depraved preacher, the minister of making love, the clergy of cunning conversation while eating pussy, and that nasty N-word. The point is that I come by many names and by many methods, but I do not come easy. That's right, children. I do not come easy. Matter of fact, nothing's coming easy today. Let us begin in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck yeah? That's what I'm talking about, children. A good fuck yeah in the morning is always a good thing. Now, before we get to our opening prayers, I'd like to mention that our opening prayers are sponsored by Tantally, because what goes better with opening prayers than praying for an opening? And with Tantally, you don't have to pray. That opening is available to you 24 hours a day. Yes, indeed. Do we have it? No, we don't need to play it. We can play it. We don't need to play it. It's time for our opening prayers. If you or someone you know is in need of a prayer by the DrRevJelyRolle, that's me, please send your request for a prayer, a healing, forgiveness, or any such request to me at DrRevJelyRolle@gmail.com. And please remember to spell roll with an E on the end. Otherwise, Jelly Roll, another Jelly Roll, not me, will receive your request for blessings, and then they're just going to put it in their circular file and do nothing with it. Almost like a real God. Damn it. Maybe I'm the imposter. Now, for our disclaimer, while all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply, which means they have applied you notice this because if you had a prayer that wasn't answered, you know that loophole was applied. Plain and simple. So, dear Lord, please bless Brother Steve Benson. Steve Benson, the American editorial cartoonist and Pulitzer Prize recipient in 1993, critic and grandson of an Latter-day Saints prophet, died of complications of a stroke. He was 71 and not playing golf. To readers of the Arizona Public, Steve Benson was a Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist who skewered politicians, public figures, and pundits with equal delight. That's right. Didn't matter if you're on the left or the right. He just liked to fuck you over. Later, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS, they more often recognized Benson as the grandson of church president Ezra Taft Benson, an arch conservative and Secretary of Agriculture in the President Dwight D. Eisenhower's administration. Now, unlike his grandfather, Steve was a nonprofit. The younger Benson, that would be Steve, followed in his famous relative's conservative footsteps for decades as a right-wing cartoonist, but in 1993, that all changed after he publicly called out his church for hiding his aging grandfather's failing mental acuity. What? A church covering something up? Well, I never. And that led to his break from Mormonism and religion altogether. He became an atheist. That's right, the fastest growing religion in the country. He and his family left the church, and Benson became an atheist, a free thinker, and he hewed to the evidence of science and discovery over what he saw as religious poppycock. Now, religious poppycock is like regular poppycock, but with more nuts. After that, he went from bomb-throwing right-winger to Molotov-slinging left-winger. That's right. And to those who knew him best, that's his family and friends, Steve's greatest masterpieces were not drawn for news outlets, but instead were drawn for birthdays, weddings, celebrations, and as holiday cards. His delightful caricatures were gifted to his friends and family and colleagues. His personalized sketches became treasured keepsakes, just as his published cartoons became cultural snapshots. Rest in peace, Steve. I expect to see some of those delightful caricatures and keepsakes on eBay any day now. Can I get an atheist prayer? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Alan Bergman. Alan Bergman, the lyricist, whose collaborations with his wife Marilyn, who passed away in 2022, were behind some Oscar-winning songs like The Way We Were, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, and The Windmills of Your Mind. As much, also such beloved TV theme songs as Good Times, Maud, and Alice. He died Thursday night at his home in Los Angeles. He was 99. According to family spokesperson Ken Sunshine, Bergman suffered from respiratory issues in recent months, but continued to write songs to the very end. Now, my question is, because if you look at the list, he's as a songwriter, he wrote the lyrics. Somebody else wrote the music. So is he a songwriter? Is he? Okay. Well, like I said, they say he continued to write songs to the very end. And in music, they call that alchemy. His daughter, Julie Bergman, was present at the time of his death, but she was just a conscientious observer. For most of the 3 decades, starting in 1970, the husband and wife team scored 16 Oscar nominations. A partial list of their notable songs include I Knew I Loved You, recorded by Celine Dion, The Windmills of Your Mind, and that was in the movie The Thomas Crown Affair, The Way We Were, and that was in the movie The Way We Were, Yellow Bird, that was, I can't pronounce this, what the fuck it is. It must have been done in French. It goes, written for Norman Leboeuf arrangement of the Creole song Chocone, something to do with cabbage or sauerkraut. I don't know. I know it's French and I didn't look it up. Nice and Easy was written for the Frank Sinatra's album, Nice and Easy. And You Don't Bring Me Flowers. Neil Diamond wrote the music for that, and Barbra Streisand's version is the most well-known version of that. Rest in peace, Alan. This is a whole rest, and I hope your wife is waiting for you on the other side to collaborate. Can I get a coda? Dear Lord, please bless Sister Connie Francis. Connie Francis, actress and singer known for the song Who's Sorry Now, died July 16th after she was hospitalized for a pelvic fracture. I don't know what she did to get that pelvic fracture. It does not say. During recovery, pneumonia developed, which unfortunately caused her death. Connie Francis had reportedly been experiencing pelvic pain and reduced mobility. She was 87. In other words, she just lied there, I guess. Maybe that's how the pelvic pain started. Okay, never mind. Among her other hits were Stupid Cupid, Where the Boys Are, and Pretty Little Baby, which has become a recent TikTok viral sensation. As of Thursday, this past Thursday, they, because she died, and they went, okay, Thursday, let's see what's going on here. As of Thursday, more than 22.5 million TikTok videos have been created using Pretty Little Baby, often partnering videos of baby, animals, toddlers, makeup tutorials, and retro fashions. According to TikTok, those videos have amassed more than 45.5 billion views globally. And if you monetize that, that's 76 cents. Rest in peace, Connie. Well, what the hell? Here goes nothing. Can I get a, damn it. I forgot. Oh, I now remember what I forgot. Fuck. I was supposed to download it, Pretty Little Baby, so that I could sing it and get a viral video. And I forgot until I read that last line. Damn it. Oh, well, I guess I'm not getting a viral video. All right. I fucked up. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Rex White. Rex White, a.k.a. Racer X, and that's just what I call him. It was probably Racist X, to be honest. American auto racer and NASCAR's oldest living champion, died at 95. No cause of death is listed. Rex White was a 2015 inductee into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. According to people who knew him, like Jim Francis, the chairman of NASCAR, Rex epitomized the formative days of NASCAR. Now, I'm going to end the quote there, because if you know anything about the formative days of NASCAR, let me tell you about NASCAR, okay? NASCAR stands for North American Stock Car and Races. I can't remember what the A and R are for, but the point is, stock cars were developed by bootleggers so they could outrun police. Yeah, and the cars were stocked with alcohol. Okay, so when they say he epitomized the NASCAR, that's what NASCAR was about. That's why it started. Those cars were so fucking popular. Somebody says, "Whoa, we have to monetize this," and not like TikTok. I mean, real money. We can get real money out of this shit. Okay, so yes, it started in the deep South with the deep races and the deep cars. That's right. Rest in peace, Rex. Or rest in peace, Rex. You've reached your final checkered flag. Enjoy the winner's circle, or is that a halo? I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. Can I get a fast pit stop? Now, dear Lord, please bless. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go.
Please stand by. We are having difficulties pronouncing foreign names. Please stand by. Please stand by. We are having difficulties pronouncing foreign names. Please stand by.
All right, there. I said it. I prepared you. I have prepared you. This is going to be a rough one, okay? It's going to be a rough one, but I'm going to do my best. All right. Brothers and sisters, I'm sorry. Dear Lord, please bless Sister B. Saroha Devi. B. Saroha Devi, an Indian actress, passed away on Monday following an age-related illness. Just say she was fucking old. That's all you gotta do. She was found unresponsive in her home. Saroja breathed her last breath at her residence in Maleswara, Bengaluru. She was 87. Known as Abhinaya Saraswati. That's probably why she died. By the time they said, said her name, wanted to send the doctors a visit, they like, who? All right. She made her silver screen debut in 1955 with the Canada, and that's Kannada film Mahakali, Khalid Asa. Okay. In a career spanning more than 7 decades, she appeared in over 200 movies across Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, and Hindu cinema. All right. Now, some of her notable works include. No. Okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the list up there for you to read yourself. I'm not going to have you mocking my pronunciations. And while you do that, Peter Possum is going to, while you read this list, we're going to have a musical interlude by Peter Possum and his interpretation of the Opossum Dream. Okay? Yes, indeed. To dream the impossible dream, to bite the uneatable mote, to dwell where the meek dare not burrow, to run is those years I'm too slow. The night is where I belong. My orbs reflect light from afar. I freeze when things get too scary. To beat the unbeatable car. All right. Was that enough time for you? Thank you. That should have been enough time for you to read that. And thank you, Peter Possum, for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of the Opossum Bowl Dream. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful rendition. Rest in peace, Saroja. May Ganesh, that's the elephant god with all the little arms, remove all of your obstacles, starting with the pronunciation of some of those words. Oh, Lord, and I get hooked on phonics. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Dave Cousins. Dave Cousins, founder, guitarist, and singer of the English folk and progressive rock band The Strawbs, STRAWBS, reportedly passed away peacefully at Pilgrim's Hospice in Canterbury this week. Excuse me, he was 80. His cause of death was undisclosed. Please, brothers and sisters, won't you join us in our continued fight to cure undisclosed disease? For your generous contribution of just pennies a day, that's right, a mere $600 a month, you can help find a cure for this deadly killer. Okay? So please give generously and out of the goodness of your heart. We must put an end to undisclosed disease. It is killing far, far, far too many people, especially people in the 80s and 90s and even 100. Okay, we've got to stop this disease. It's taken too many of our elderly people. Benson, or along with the Strawbs, had released a number of albums, including the album Strawbs in 1969, the album Dragonfly in 1970, and From the Witchwood in 1971, which showcased their ability to blend elements with innovative arrangements. And the arrival of keyboard virtuoso Rick Wakeman, who joined initially as a session musician and then became a member of the Strawbs from April 1970 to August 1971, propelled the band further into progressive rock realm. But as their sound expanded, Cousins' songwriting remained focused on narrative and melody. Now, I'm going to just say this from a personal note. Rick Wakeman was a fucking beast. He was a fucking beast. I could watch him play all fucking day. He was a virtuoso. He was so good in the keyboards and so present. I mean, he was so fucking good at his art. And then he went on to play with Yes, and he had a solo career. As a matter of fact, I have a CD. I think it's called the Six Wives of Henry VIII or something like that. Or it was, the man's just a fucking beast. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be about Dave Benson. Okay, Dave Benson, rest in peace. What was it like to play with Rick Wakeman? And I get $600 a month. And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff of Mind Dog TV. They are truly doing your work, helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere. I mean, they could be anywhere today, but they're just wishing that they were anywhere today. And that ought to count for something. Showing up is half the job, or half the battle and all the job. But anyway, showing up is important, and they do that each and every single week. Lord have mercy. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? So, I have to, do I have to push something? No, not push. Well, I don't mean push, like physically push. I meant push, like plug. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Why isn't that working? Fuck it. Yeah, minddogtv.com, the place to go for all of your coffee with the dog and all of your Church of Last Resort gear. And there's lots of gear. At last count, there was 469 pages of merchandise, slightly up from the 25 pages that we had last week. So, okay. Somebody happened to notice that it's not that there's a love for puppet. It's just that you spend that much money on a puppet, and God damn it, you're going to use it whenever you can. That's right. Especially since that puppet Well, never mind. I'm not going to tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Okay. No, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe later on. Okay. I'll tell you later on. But right now, we're going to have our little. Oh, that's what that thump was. My bump for the Lord stuff fell. Hold on. All right. It's time for our bump, have a little bump for the Lord. Now, today I'm drinking water because I am hoarse as shit. Or is that horse shit? At any rate, the point is my throat is raw from last night. I'll tell you about last night just around the sermon or something like that. But in the name of, this is, sorry, bump for the Lord. Now let's have a little bump for the Lord. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a little bit hoarse and a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah, y'all. Fuck yeah! Now, brothers and sisters, before we continue, I did reference the coffee with the dog, and for those of you who are fans of Coffee with the Dog, and if you have let's say a particular set of skills that you want to tell people about, you can book yourself on Mind Dog Coffee with the Dog on Mind Dog TV, and our little helper here, Sister Curly Hair So Bright, is going to tell you how.
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the
Summer and fall.
now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
Thank you, Sister Curly Hair So Bright. Thank you very, very much. Brothers and sisters, I just want to take a second to respond to some of the things that's in the chat room. First of all, whoever the fuck you are, I don't want to be part of your Discord, and I don't want you part of mine. And no, I do not want your cheap viewers. If I want something cheap, I'll make it myself. I know how to do cheap. I do cheap very well. What I don't do is quality. Okay, so if you said you were gonna give me quality viewers, I'll be all over that shit. I'll be all over that like Epstein on a minor. That's right. But no, well, not anymore. He's not. So maybe I should. I'll be all over that like P. Diddy on a sale on baby oil. Maybe that's it. Yes. Now, brothers and sisters, today's sermon is called Law and Order. Okay, Law and Order. I know it used to be Law and Order, and a lot of people talk about Law and Order, but when we get right down to it, to the nitty gritty, it's only law and order on paper. That's it. And that paper is being used to wipe our asses, or their asses. It's being used to wipe asses. There's definitely asses being wiped, and they're using law and order to do it. And because we have such an unhealthy constitution, when we wipe, because we have such an unhealthy constitution, we may never be able to use those papers again because there's just bad shape. Okay. Now I know that these puns and references sound like a load of crazy stuff, but it is where we are. Okay, it is where we are, and we didn't just show up here. Okay, law and order has been around for a long time. We just were not calling it that. We were not paying attention to the myth behind law and order. Okay, it was never ever about truly about law and order or justice. It was about punishment and protection. Okay, and it's like I said, it's not new. It goes way back. I'm talking biblical times. I'm talking about back Garden of Eden stuff. I'm talking about back when God warned Adam, and this is in Genesis 2 something, 16, 17, it doesn't matter. God warned Adam not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He told Adam. He did not tell Eve, okay? Eve did not tell Eve, just told Adam. Now, people will say that God told Eve, but he didn't. He told Adam. And they say that, well, Eve must have known, because people say that if Eve didn't know, when in Genesis 3:2, then she could not have said to the serpent, hey, we're not supposed to eat from this tree. That's true. Now, it could be very many reasons for that. It does not say how she knows. People just assume that God told her, and he didn't. Or if he did, it wasn't important enough to put it in the book. Okay? Let's say Adam told her. Why would she start listening to Adam? That's the only other person she knows, right? She doesn't know anything about this man. How long has she known him? She comes from a rib. Look, she was inside of him. She knows what he's full of shit. She knows him better than anybody. Why would she trust him? It's like, okay, why? Why can I not eat from that? Now, but maybe she just wants somebody else to talk to, right? It was just her, the two of them. Well, there was the other couple also. We don't know what their relationship was like. The other couple that God made. We don't know what their relationship was like. They don't even mention them anymore. So apparently they didn't have a good relationship. So she goes to the garden. She's in the garden, and she's just talking to the serpent because no one else to talk to. All right. Now, God warned Adam about the fruit. Why didn't God warn Adam and Eve about the talking serpent? Unless it was normal. They weren't surprised. They're talking to a serpent, and serpent's talking back. How many other animals are out there talking out there talking? We don't know. Now, I'd have been surprised if a snake was talking to me. I know I would have been majorly surprised. But now in Genesis 1, that would be Sega Genesis 1, we learned about altered beasts. Okay? Now, an altered beast, I think that's page 19 in Genesis Sega 1. You're supposed to be saving Athena, who is Zeus's daughter, from some kind of thing. All right. I don't know. I'm not a big Sega guy. I specialize in Pong. Okay. But the point is that there was not law and order. Okay. God punished the serpent because she ate the apple, and he punished her, with menstrual cramps and tough births. Okay. And he punished the serpent by saying, you're going to crawl on your belly for the rest of your life. And your kids are going to crawl on their bellies. And their kids are going to crawl on their bellies. So God, ripped off his legs for what? Doing his job? That's not law. Okay? That's not order. Okay? That's why this is law and order. None of that shit was true. It didn't happen. But it's what we base things on. And then you have Moses, okay? And going back to Moses, who gave some stone tablets that he got from a talking burning bush. Okay. Apparently those tablets were not the only things that were stoned. And again, the Ten Commandments. All right. It's supposed to be law and order, but it's not. It's law and order. I'm saying these things because there's been a recent upheaval in the news, and it's affecting everything we watch. Every other minute, we're hearing about the Epstein files. Okay, there are going to be comedians talking about it, ministers talking about it, politicians talking about it, newscasters talking about it, and the biggest thing is that Trump is trying to distance himself from Epstein. Okay, now I don't have to make this about Trump. Like I said, I tried to make this about law and order. Okay, the fact that Epstein was about to stand trial, finally, for pedophilia, in essence, and trafficking young girls across across state lines, and maybe even internationally. That's just it. We haven't gotten to the bottom of all of this because somebody unalived him, whether he unalived himself or it was a person of interest. I'd be interested in the person who did it. But Trump is trying to distance himself from Epstein. But if you look at the videotape evidence, the documents, Epstein and Trump were like two peas in a pod, or what the legume farmers called a three-way, a menage a pod, if you please. Now, Mr. Trump, not just Mr. Trump, anybody who was on that list. See, that's just it. We do not know everyone's on that list, and we do not know they're guilty. Okay, as said earlier, I'm sure the caterer was on the list. Did the caterer do anything? We don't know. The valet is probably on the list. What did the valet do? Was he just parking cars? Or was he delivering young girls? We don't know. That's why we need this. We need the list. And we need to dig down deep and find out, are we really a country of law and order, or if we're a country of law and order? Are we going to back decency? Are we going to find decency? Are we going to protect our children? Or are we going to just let rich bastards have their way with them to the exclusion of all else? Where has my little dog gone? Brothers and sisters, I am not trying to stir up a pot that's already been stirred and bubbling over. I just want the mess cleaned up. The pot's already boiling. It's already boiled over onto the stove. And that shit is drying up and getting sticky because it's hitting the heat. The water's evaporating and somebody's got to scrape the shit off. That's what we got to do. We got to keep the pressure on and keep scraping and scraping and scraping until the stove is clean and been removed. All of that stuff has got to be removed from the stove because it's bubbling over and it's going to keep bubbling over. And once it's bubbled out, nothing's going to be left but the solid stench in the bottom of that pan is going to keep burning, and we're never going to get the shit out that pan. We got to nip this in the bud now while it's still just bubbling over, before it becomes a stain, before it becomes permanent, before you got to throw the pot out, okay? Now it's the time for us to come to the bottom of these things, and we're never going to do it with the fake-ass people in charge of law and order. Now, what are we going to do about it? And what can we do about it? Because if you're looking for me for answers, I don't have all the answers because none of my answers are legal. Okay? I do not have a legal solution for what to do about those bastards up there that we can do now. Okay. Yes. In about what? In 2 Novembers from now, we can do something. We can vote. But until then, we can keep protesting. We can keep calling. We can keep the pressure on those bastards, you know, and don't let them forget what they promised. Don't let them forget what they said they stood for. Don't let them forget that all lives matter except for pedophiles. Don't let them forget that. Okay, put the pressure on them. Okay, make them tell us everything about those little pedophilias. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters, like I said, law and order means something, I guess, very, very, I'd like to say I'm passionate about it because I've seen both sides of it. I've seen how the law can be used to lift people up and help people out, and I've seen how it can be used to tear people down and just rob them of all their decency. I say, let's return to decency and let's get rid of all the fucking pedophiles and half the politicians that support, and all the politicians that support them. Let's get rid of all the fuckers, all of them. Just kick them out. Now, that's all I gotta say about that. I wanted to bring up something else that kind of, I was up late last night comforting a friend, listening to his troubles. For those of you who were paying attention, G.D. Fenderson did like a little show last night on Plausible, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's probably the worst performance he's ever done. He and I talked about it all night long. He's like, I don't understand. I know the material. I don't understand. It was funny. I don't understand. The audience was into it, but I couldn't deliver. And he was having trouble. I do not know why. I watched him struggle, and I was like, you ever watch somebody struggle so bad that you just start like rooting for them silently? And if you you'd have walked up there and just held their hand and go, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Yeah, I watched him. He tried everything. You know, it was like the only thing he could salvage was the very, very end. I mean, that was the only thing that went off without a hitch. Everything, and it wasn't technical. He spent 4 or 5 days getting all the technical stuff straight. The show was on Saturday. There was all kinds of technical issues with software because he did something very stupid. He used OBS. That's not stupid. But the software, when he went to boot it up for his technical rehearsal, it said, you must update or it's not going to work properly. So he updated the OBS software and nothing worked properly. And it took from Monday to Saturday to get it fixed. And he spent 2 hours on Monday, 4 hours on Wednesday, 4 hours on Thursday, 3.5 hours on Friday, and a half an hour on Saturday trying to get it right. And he got it right. You know, he got it to work. Now, true, that's time he could have been using to practice and rehearse, which he loves to over-rehearse. But he thought, I got this. I was talking to him. I said, you sure? He goes, yeah, I think I got this. And then half an hour, maybe an hour before the thing, GD thought to himself, I don't have this. I shouldn't do this show. I don't got it. I should cancel. And I told him, what's the worst thing to happen if you cancel 1 hour? If you cancel 1 hour before the show, you know, you have people coming over, you know, some of them are already in transit, and then people had already paid. and he wanted to back out, and he said, you could tell, you could look at his eyes and see his confidence was gone, and there's nothing worse than looking in someone's eyes and seeing they have no confidence in what they're about to do. It's sad. It's sad. You look at the eyes, and you go like, oh shit, you shouldn't be doing this, and you want to go, it's okay, go back to bed, or you want to go, snap out of it. The show's starting in a half an hour and people are already in the park in your driveway. Snap out of it. So he did. He snapped out of it up until 2 minutes before the show. Then he snapped right back in, lost all of his confidence. Now, people had a good time and there was still lots of laughter to be had. The problem is the execution of it. He did not execute the way he thought he was going to. Okay. Yes, people had a good time. People laughed. He had to restart songs several times or stop in the middle and refine a chord, or he played the wrong chord several times, even though he could play those songs in his sleep. And I know I've heard him play them in his sleep. Keep me fucking awake because I'm trying to sleep in the other room and he's playing chords in his sleep. Shit that he knows how to do. So he'll apologize to people for himself, but I was just saying I was trying to comfort him and help him find his footing in comedy again, because it's one of those, it's sad to see a person who is so great at what they do. such a comedic icon, probably without a doubt the best comedian in Westminster in his mind. No doubt about it. But that day, last night, he was probably Westminster's worst known comedian. And he's embarrassed by it. He is embarrassed by it. I mean, he had people texting him last night saying things like, yeah, that was that last number was great. It was the best number because he put down the guitar and he sang without the guitar. He sang a cappella because he knew the material was good. Just doesn't know why that when he tried to sing it and play, it didn't work. So he closed with an a cappella song and it worked well. He should have done the whole fucking show a cappella. Okay, that's what he should have done. But he kept believing that he could overcome. You know, this is one of those Negro spirituals. That's not the Negro spiritual he should have been singing. He should not have been singing, "We Shall Overcome." He should have been singing, "What the fuck am I doing here?" I don't know if that's an old Negro spiritual, but it should be. What the fuck am I doing here? But that's not the case. So, brothers and sisters, for those of you who watched last night, he apologizes, and he's probably going to do it again, but he's going to do it without an audience. He's just going to do it for plausible, and he's not going to charge anybody because he wants people to see that he can do it and he can do it right. You know, that's what he was thinking last night. I don't know what he's thinking this morning. I haven't talked to him this morning, but last night he was like, I don't know what happened, and I can't just leave it like that. I have to fix it. I need people to see that I really can do this. And so he's not shying away. He's owning up to the fact that he fucked up. He just doesn't know why he fucked up. And that's what's bugging him. You know, he can take it the fuck up and then once he understands it, goes like, I know what happened. I can fix this. But last night, as of 9:49 a.m. on Sunday, he does not know what happened, and he doesn't know what to fix, or the fact if anything is broken, like if his ego is permanently damaged, or if it's just I need one show to go. I just need to do something right, and then I know I can do it again. We'll see. But brothers and sisters, that's it for today. I'm probably going to wind up cutting this short because honestly, I don't have anything else to talk about. And I got commenting here about somebody watched it at Blind Mike's house. Oh, that's the other thing I will mention. He was promoting the show on Knock 'em Dead Comedy, and they asked him, they said, will this show be available again for replay? And GD said on that show, if it goes well, it will be everywhere that he can promote it. If it goes poorly, he will erase every trace of it from history. I think we're on the second part. I mean, true. Now, he could be dishonest, and he can go through and cut it and re-edit it so that all of the bloopers and mistakes are gone, so all the songs look like it's continuous and you don't hear the fuck ups and the mistakes. And instead of 87 minutes, it'll be down to like, oh, let me see, if you cut out all the bad parts, take 87 minutes, goes down to like a 12-minute clip. Okay. Yeah, and that he could do that. He could edit out all the bad stuff and just put out a 12-minute clip, and people are like, wow, that was a great show. And it wasn't a great show. It was great material, but not a great show. I have to admit to it. So, brothers and sisters, we want to thank Peter Opossum for that beautiful rendition of The Opossable Dream. He's got a lovely singing voice, and I think he has a very bright future on stage. So, brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Church of Last Resort, the entire Roll family, my wife, Amona Roll, my kids, Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat Tootsie. Oh, shit. I just stopped just for a second before I continue. Sorry, I should have hit the mute button, but I forgot. I couldn't find it over here. Okay. I want to thank the people over at Plausible, especially Brian and Leanne. Their support, their tech support, is beyond reproach. Brian spent 13 hours with GD Fenderson trying to resolve that issue. 13 hours in a 1-week period over several days. You don't get that kind of service anyplace else. Okay, I can tell you for a fact, if you have a problem with StreamYard, you're not going to find somebody coming to your aid. You can send a text, a message, and maybe somebody reads it. I don't know. I've sent some messages on StreamYard and gotten shit back. When I say shit, no, I wish I got shit back. At least I know they read it. Okay, they didn't even read it. But at Plausible, they respond and they work with you. And I mean, I watched Brian work with GD. I mean, they tore things apart. They were all up in his DOS, all up in his files, all up in his cache, and they were all up in his hidden files. Even they were all up in things that's like, whoa, shit! I didn't even know those files were there. When I list them, I don't see them, but they were all up in that shit. And they're going to work together on Monday night to, they say everything's working the way it's supposed to work. And now they're trying to fine tune some things, except I can't say enough good things about plausible.com. Now, I will say this. If you're one of those TikTok sensations who want to be a comedian, you've got like all of these shorts, 1-minute shorts that people like. You have like 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers or 15,000, 1 million followers. And then you have 40 million views on TikTok or YouTube. And it translates to how many dollars? $1, $2, $3 a year. This is what I'm going to suggest you do. Take those clips and make them into a set. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, half an hour, whatever. Make it a set. And then take it to Plausible. Invite your million fans
to join Plausible and watch you there. Watch you do a complete set. A virtual set. Doesn't even have to be in a live setting. And you could just do a virtual set. Have your set right there, your script right in front of you, and perform it for those people and charge them a few bucks each. Okay. Even if you don't have all 1 million people show up, let's say you only have 500 of those million people show up. If you charge them $5 or $10, that's a hell of a lot more money you're going to get from Plausible than you will ever get from YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. Now, yes, you'll be putting in some work, but if you want to be a comedian and you want to be good at your craft, if you're calling it a craft, you got to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, the only thing you're going to get is booked at clubs, and you're going to disappoint the club 9 out of 10 times because you're not ready. You're not a comedian yet. So I suggest, if you want to monetize it, use plausible.com. Okay, use plausible.com. Use the services they have. Like I said, they have great customer service. It's a great feature, great scene. Last night when GD was performing, he could see the audience dying before his eyes. He could see them right there. It was interactive. Now, of course, they'd all muted their mics, so you didn't get to hear them laughing. He set it up so he could hear them laugh or talk or ask questions or nothing. So that's beside the point. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I'm going to keep on putting it out there. All right, because it benefits. What the hell? Oh, I'm sorry. So I just put that out there. So there we go. On behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire Roll family. Oh, and I need to thank the Fendersons. Not GD, but not thank him, but his wife Carol. She was a gracious hostess, and you could see her quietly suffering with her husband. And it's not, if you're a performer, and you're doing badly, you feel one way, but no matter how you feel, the spouse feels a lot worse for you. Okay. I mean, you feel it deeply, but some performers can go, that was bad. I'm ready to move on. But the spouse feels it like, that's my boo up there. That's my boo dying. My boo dying. What can I do to help my boo? Do I yell things out to help him? Do I scream out his lines for him? Do I say, I'm here, I love you? It's rough. It's rough. You just have to sit back and quietly suffer while you die on stage. It's almost like hospice. Dying on stage is almost like hospice. Everybody see it happening and nobody can stop it. So all they can do is comfort you the best they can. Maybe give you a little morphine drip. On behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire Roll family, my wife Amona Roll, my kids Cinnamon Roll and Jelly Jr. Roll, our cat Tootsie Roll, and our dog Stop Dropping Roll, I wish you safe travels. And I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox Time on Mind Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. So, brothers and sisters, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah!